Welcome back. I'm Michael Bull, and this is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We have Mitch Rochelle here and Andy Warren. They're both with PwC. We're here in Studio One. We're going over the top 10 trends from their report, Emerging Trends in Real Estate, that PwC does each year with ULI. We are down to number 9, ready for augmented reality.
Augmented reality. Everybody knows Pokemon, which kind of started this, but the real estate industry was actually probably doing it first. But just envision if you were watching this program, it would be like we were right there. You put the goggles on, and we would pop up right in front of you. And in fact, and as the technology gets implemented into video games, then it's easier to spread it around. So you would literally be able to look at a space, move furniture around, look at different access points, where the restrooms want to be, and you could do this from anywhere in the world. And it's being used more now on the residential side, but we've been talking to people that are starting to implement it into their commercial brokerage side as they're looking at it. And then you add in the design component, where you could sit down even before the building's built and virtually see it before it actually comes in. Walk through it even. Do a walkthrough before the building's even under construction.
And this is the next generation of what you used to have when you'd create some overlays and you could synthesize what space looks like. So now you're literally wearing these glasses. You have a phone that you can slip your own phone into the glasses and you walk around, and as you're moving through space, you're actually seeing the places that would be there. So you literally could put, and James told the story before in the green room, you could put an abandoned field that would have a warehouse in it, and you could have a CAD design of the warehouse, and you could actually feel like you're walking through the actual warehouse. So.
Yeah, it's great technology, and we'll put a link to a show that we did on some of this technology so you can check it out. Well, let's go to number 10, blockchain for the 21st century real estate.
So what blockchain is a distributed ledger, and I guess as the only accountant in the room I get to use the word ledger in a sentence. Think about the old analog functions like checking title in the old days in real estate, where you had to go into the Hall of Records and open up a file cabinet and see if title transferred. What if all parties to that transaction were part of this closed or public distributed ledger? So at the time of a closing, everybody's part of that transaction sort of signs off, if you will, in this shared ledger, and you no longer have the need to have people go checking title because all of that is made public. There's two kinds of ledger in blockchain. One is an open ledger and one is a closed ledger. So if you and I want to transact something, we could transact and use Bitcoin as an example of currency, trading back and forth, and we could do that in our own closed ledger. But the application in real estate, which will likely be the way title transfers and the way closings take place in the future, would all be in an open, public, distributed ledger. This falls in that category of things you heard here first. We truly believe that blockchain technology, and you look at the billions of dollars that are being spent publicly and privately, and when I say public, I mean by companies versus just venture capital on blockchain technology. It probably is the future of the way securities get traded in private markets, the way securities get traded in public markets perhaps, and the way real estate will trade hands in the future. So you heard it here first.
You heard it here.
You'll be doing a show one day on blockchain.
Blockchain.
I promise you
That's
that.
right. All right, now we're going to get to some of the fun part. We're going to talk about some...
Wait, that wasn't fun?
We're going to get some best bets. Before we do that, we're going to talk about the top 10 cities that hold the most promise moving forward. So who made the
I'm
top
going to run
10?
through the top 10, and this is early in the
Starting with one?
Starting with one. I can do it backwards, like Letterman style.
Do Letterman style.
I'm going to do Letterman style. Number 10 is San Francisco.
Yeah.
Number 9, Charlotte. Number 8, the OC, Orange County. 7, Raleigh-Durham. 6, Nashville. 5, Los Angeles. 4, Seattle. Its neighbor, Portland, number 3. Dallas-Fort Worth is number 2, and drum roll, Austin, Texas, number 1.
Austin, Texas.
A little nugget on Austin. Several years ago, Austin made it to the top 10, and we had debate behind the scenes when we were pulling this thing together whether or not that was an aberration. Okay, and that was maybe 6, 7 years ago, Andy. Right. Not only has it's been in the 10 consistently, it's been as high as 2. It's never been number 1. Okay, so that's really sort of.
And what are the things that your respondents tell you that make these top cities? What attracts them to pick
so
them?
let me explain the process there. And Andy, who actually writes the chapter in the book on markets, I'll shut up and let him talk because he knows a lot more than I do. It's a bit of a popularity contest, truth be told. So it's not data dependent. So we don't have an algorithm and we take a bunch of data and figure out who's 1 and who's 75. What we do is we ask the participants, the 1,500 of them who respond to the survey, what city do you think is number 1 for investment, for development, for home building? And we take their score across those 3 attributes and we make a composite of it, and that's what creates the 1 to 75 ranking. So there is a lot of human interaction. Atlanta was in the top 10 last year. It's not in the top 10. And it just means that less people voted for Atlanta and ranked Atlanta lower than they did last year. So it's, but one of the things we do, which is going to be the segue to Andy, we look at the data behind it and we try to make sense of why Austin is number 1. And it turns out, without fail every year, that there is a correlation between data and the rankings.
Right. And Austin is number 1 because it didn't have a drop-off during the global financial crisis. It's just been growing, and it's growing for all the right reasons. I can't think of another market in the country that has better PR than Austin, Texas.
They have an entire party to celebrate
everybody.
South by Southwest.
Everybody knows it. You've
Austin
got
is weird?
keep Austin weird.
Keep Austin weird, okay.
And in fact, now we're starting to hear about other cities that people are saying, well, we're like Austin, or if Austin and San Diego had a baby, it would be our city.
Right.
So it's
but
really
Nashville, Andy, is another version of Austin.
Right. And as we talk to people, to get back to your point about what we're hearing and matching up, and Mitch's point about popularity contests, people hear about Austin, they like it, so they think this will be good. Now, we might get a little different result that said, do you think you could invest in Austin? Because of the size of the market, it might be a little different. But people do see the perspective of comparing that market to the others.
All right, we'll take a short break and we'll have best bets for you next. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out CREshow.com.